I hate to break the fishing news up, Yaremchuk, but I'd like to speak about the ice hockey.
Congratulations, you're one of the 13 listeners of the Real Life Podcast.
We just traded a migraine in for like an orgasm.
Might want to mark that down, Yaremchuk.
Yep. All of my projects are on schedule until they're not.
A member of the Nation Network of Podcasts.
About as funny as we're going to get today.
Welcome in to episode 165 of the Real Life Podcast. I'm Tyler Yaremchuk, and the whole gang is here today. Baggedmilk, Chalmers, Jay, Wanye, all on via FaceTime. Everyone got their Apple headphones in as well, so it's looking good, boys. I'm liking this so far.
I'm happy to see all of you guys.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to get to see faces other than my wife and my two kids.
It's that virtual break we're all thirsty for.
Chalmers, you want
to
do a game where every time we mention coronavirus, you have to strip?
Yeah, well, I like your idea. Like, I don't think we should be kicked right out because it could be damn near impossible. We could all get kicked out.
Take your shirt off.
Yeah, we can take our shirts off and nobody will really know.
Mm-hmm. I'll see.
But I'll know.
That's true.
I kind of wish I had the power they do on that one sports talk show where I could go and mute your guys' mics.
Oh,
I think that would
horn.
be kind of cool. Yeah, around the horn.
That would
I
be
wish I could
sweet.
run it like that.
Well, that could be how we get points for all the good points we make, and then we get to say our own thing at the end. That's they got a good show. I like that show.
Are you in bed, Jay?
Where I was sitting, the sound off the hardwood was like it was creating an echo, so I moved it. I'm in bed.
Your house is so not set up for this kind of stuff.
Oh, it is not, but maybe we can jump right into it and talk about the recent purchase I made and how it's going to fit into this tiny house I live in.
What'd you get?
Well, I'd mentioned on the podcast how I wish I took advantage of something and didn't, but the opportunity presented itself on the weekend after having a few cocktails 2 meters apart from my friends, talking about how their lives are better from this thing and how they created a very enticing incentive to acquire this thing. So I, at about 12:15 in the morning on Friday night, acquired a Peloton.
What?
Good for you.
He drunk ordered a Peloton and didn't remember until the morning.
That's so funny, man.
So now he wakes up. He's hung because he's got, he's had many drinks, and he's got to tell his lovely missus that he's bringing a big new purchased bike into their humble abode.
And I videoed it.
So we videoed the reveal to her, and it went about as well as you would think it would.
Can we put that on the real life socials?
Yes. I'll just get you to. I'll have to get confirmation if we can just give the video. Definitely the audio.
Yeah,
Honestly,
let me work on that. I was able to win the debate because I had 2 days to convince her to keep it and how it was going to fit. So late last night, I was able to create the situation to keep it the Peloton.
It's going to be the best thing you've done because in this, self-quarantining that we've been doing, I'm so happy that I have this thing right now because it's the one thing keeping me sane. I'm telling you.
Chalmers, you had a lot more time with your kids now, and you mentioned before we came on that up until about 1 o'clock, you're Mr. Chalmers, as in a school teacher. How's the lesson planning been going?
Yeah, so last week we kept it pretty lax. We didn't make a schedule, but we knew it was going to come, and we were kind of waiting on the teachers to provide us with some sort of guidance, what direction we should go in. But late last night, we decided that we just needed to have a schedule for today. So we were going to start at Monday morning, just like a regular thing. So we sat down at our island, and we let the kids make we said, as subjects, what do you guys do? So 8 to 9 in the morning is breakfast, iPad, and TV time because that's, we have a nice soft opening to the day.
And right, ease them in.
Yeah. And then, up until around 1 o'clock, I just basically am a teacher now. I don't leave the house. My wife has to be out at that time. And so it's just the three of us. And the lesson plan today was Oh man, I don't like teaching kids is so hard. These kids, teachers can make a lot more money.
Do you make them raise their hands when they have to ask a question or have to go to the bathroom?
No, because they have booklets, right? Like, so I think that when they're in class, they do a lot of their booklets. So, for instance, Logan had I had to give him his morning spelling test, and then he went into doing things with the words, and he's got this whole book for it. Whereas in Luke, though, he's only in grade 1. That's grade 3. In grade 1, Luke's got a little more of a describe what you're seeing outside the window at that tree and then color it type of thing. So that was nice. But thank God I got saved right before we got into math because, I just don't think I have the patience to sit down and teach them math. So the good thing is they just get workbooks. But I got to make sure they do it. And then, so they made up their own schedules and they got recess at 10. So we really only work. Oh, they get recess. Yeah. Run outside, run with the dog, play hockey in the basement, 15, 20 minutes. And then, geez, my alarm's went off. And then they get a lunchtime, which is nice. But so here's another thing. What happened this morning was my parents are in this quarantine, 14-day quarantine. And my dad's sink backed up this morning. And so he can't leave the house to go get anything, but he needs an auger from Home Depot. So I had to go to Home Depot. And that was not a fun scene because they have barricades up everywhere and they are only letting you in certain areas. And it was very, very real at that moment about how things were not being fun. So then I got back and I started doing schoolwork again. And I was actually made happy by the fact that I could just stay in this little cocoon of mine and act like a teacher, teach my boys.
Now, the comment about recess, which I'm so happy that you're giving it to your kids, that's very nice of you. But do you not remember in elementary, a 15-minute recess felt like an hour?
I lived a lifetime in a morning recess, many days.
You can play a full football game or a soccer game,
2 halves
in 15 minutes. Right now, I can blink and it's been 15 minutes.
What should I get them doing for recess then? Besides,
play eraser hockey.
But I want to get them outside.
Well,
no, let them run outside. It's fine. You're doing everything right.
Get them to do ladder matches against each other and stuff. That could take them an afternoon.
Get them to clean out the gutters, clean out the eaves troughs.
I was gonna say make it like an Olympic style event where they have different events, but they're all just wrapped around housework.
Oh, that would be good. Yeah. We've got what?
Maybe some kind of American Gladiator style situation where you're hucking balls at them and throwing things at them and get them moving around, dip, dodge, dive.
You got to make them tough for the new world, Chalmers.
Everything.
You got to make them tough for the new world, buddy. You got to get them fighting other neighborhood kids.
Yeah, but they can't be within 6 feet of them.
Give them poles and swords, bro.
Who's the schoolyard bully?
Oh God, I don't even know. To be honest with you, I don't think they have bullies anymore. What? Yeah,
they will after this.
Yeah. I like the idea of making them do Olympic chores Olympic style chores.
Set up a putting green around the house, Chalmers.
Putting. Oh, have you seen all the videos?
Mini golf course.
Have you seen all the videos of people setting up these tracks around their houses where they release a ball and then dominoes and just chaos ensues, but it always works at the end? You've seen these Baggedmilk?
Yeah, man. They're everywhere, and some of them it's incredible the courses that people are setting up in their house right now.
Did you see the one where the guy had to rely on 2 cats? The ball landed in front of the cat. The cat had to push it down the stairs to another cat who pushed it in the right direction to where it needed to go. That's a lot of trust in these cats.
That's teamwork. The one I liked is I'm probably going to butcher it. It was like a PS2, PS3 system, and the guy shot the disc. And it landed into the and it accepted the disc when it landed in.
Yeah, that was incredible.
Oh, that was cool.
That's funny.
I gotta say, if we're talking about a bright side of being trapped in our houses, social media right now, people are getting creative and they're getting weird, and I am all about it.
Yeah, I'm seeing what should we should come up with something. I don't know about the push-up challenges though. Come on, push-up challenge, 20 of them. Bet we could all do 20 right now.
I could do some stick handling in my living room and post that.
You should. Maybe you get picked up by the Oilers.
Yeah. That was not bad. Stick handling. It was pretty quick.
He's gonna mark up the
floors.
floors.
And then I replied on that photo saying you have sick hands, Tony Brar. And then he replied, "You're a legend, Wayne." And I think he thinks I'm Gretzky. And so I just abandoned the whole thing
better.
altogether, and now I'm not bothering him.
Who is this person?
Tony
He's
is
the
well
guy who
versed in the
interviews
nation.
Oilers on the ice.
He almost came and worked with us.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So he plays. He's like won like the national championship for ball hockey.
He won the World Junior Ball Hockey Championships.
Oh, World Junior! Holy shit!
Yeah. Tony's a big time ball hockey player. His whole family is actually. He was a semester
Can you
below
believe
me at Nate.
It was like a bachelor type situation with us as well with Tony Barr. He had to choose between us and the Oilers, and we didn't get that rose, you know?
What a fool.
That's like choosing between a Ferrari and a Ferrari sticker.
And now look where we all are, hey, with the decisions we've made.
Depends how bad you want that sticker, though.
Can we talk about what we did this weekend? Because we weren't we really wanted to, on the weekends, I like to go hang out with my friends. I really do. We like to see each other. We like to have people over, and we can't do that anymore. So we started to spitball some things that we could do to see each other and to hang out and just to have some sort of normal Saturday night with a couple beers with the boys. And one of our buddies came up with this genius move, and I'm not totally sure why I'm not seeing Poker Stars advertisements or poker website advertisements everywhere. But
we've reached out to all of them.
That stuff it's just primed to blow up again, because I hadn't thought about playing poker for about 5 years because it just kind of lost its luster. We set up a little home game where you can just invite as many people as you want to your club, and they can come in, and you set up a time where we're going to have an open table, and anybody that wants can come in and just sit and play poker. Now that's fun. So now you're playing with just your friends. You're not playing with random people. But at the same time, we had a friend who sent out a Google Hangout, invitation. And we all accepted it. And so now while we're playing poker on our computers, we've got a Google Hangout with the 5.
Cool.
That's
awesome.
It was weird for the first minute, but then it was just pretty damn normal.
It just felt normal. Wow.
It did feel normal. And it was made funnier by just getting to see dynamics in people's houses. Jay couldn't get away from his dog. He couldn't find a place in the fucking house.
Now I gotta stop you here, and I gotta take a poll of everyone in this podcast. Because Chalmers ripped me for how I peel and eat a banana.
Oh my god!
Do you do stem down?
No. So I want everyone one by one to tell me how you eat a banana, and then I'll tell you what I did. And I think I'm normal, but
I don't think he's normal at all. It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
What do you do, Baggedmilk?
I just ate my last banana this morning. Actually, I just grab it normally. Stem is up.
Yep.
And then I peel downward.
Yep.
And I continue to peel downward as I require more banana.
Yep.
So you slowly unwrap with every bite.
Yeah, or I'll think ahead and I'll pull it down an inch or two, and when I need more banana, I continue the peel.
Wanye?
Right.
Well, Chalmers, I know what you think. I know how Jay eats his bananas, and I'm already at the end of this conversation in my head.
It was mind blowing.
You can say that a man that completely unwraps his banana from tip to toe is probably the same guy who pulls his pants down into the urinal all the way to the floor.
Okay.
But, that's the guy we're dealing with, and that's how he lives his life, and we can all get along.
So, in case you missed it, he unpeels the banana all the way,
tip to toe,
holds the open, totally revealed banana in one hand, throws the peel away, and then just holds the banana and just eats it. The whole reason the peel is there is to make sure your hand doesn't get disgusting from banana, and that you're not making your banana all mushy in the last couple bites. It's like its own. When you're eating a wrap.
I got a question. Why would it get mushy? It's not like he's squeezing.
Hold on. How did you just say mushy? Say that again.
I meant to say
mushy.
I said mushy.
Is that how you say mushy?
Because I say mushy, but I said mushy.
No.
Bananas aren't always the same consistency, and if they are a little bit over ripened and you start to touch them, they become even more over ripened and they start to get slippery. I just don't understand why, if you have a McDonald's wrap and you unwrap the middle part and take off the top, you don't take off the bottom just to hold it by the wrap. You hold it by the
only
back.
thing you need to keep in its wrapper while you're eating is a donair.
Yeah,
and a banana. It literally has a built-in wrapper.
Well, because I
You take a full
also
chocolate bar and just throw the thing away and just hold it by the chocolate bar bottom. Like,
I'll do that. Now,
Chalmers,
the
I've
thing I
seen
like-
Jay order soup and he pours it all into his hand and then eats it out of his cup hand. I've seen this numerous times.
So I like to. So part of the reason of the full uncloaking of the banana is I also like to put peanut butter on it.
which is even easier to do if you're holding the bottom of the peel of the banana, because you don't have.
Then I'm risking breaking the banana when I'm applying peanut butter.
The banana's way stronger when it has its tree trunk on it, or its bits. It's
no, it gets weaker at the exposed. No, the juncture of peel to exposed area. That's like a lever. Like that just wants to topple over with any kind of pressure.
Yaremchuk, what do you think?
Yeah, I think if you're unpeeling the banana from top to bottom and just holding it, you're definitely not doing it correctly. But I mean, this is taking a bit of a weird turn towards where we had the whole chumming incident go, and I don't want to spend like the next 20 minutes debating the banana thing. I understand wanting to put I understand wanting to put peanut butter on it, but like, couldn't you just like maybe put the peanut butter in a bowl, chop up the banana, put it in the bowl, and then eat it like a soup, sort of?
What? Oh. So then, do you know how to live like a bachelor? Then you've just dirtied so many pieces of like.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Why don't I just pull out a cutting board and have a knife for the banana, and then a knife to spread the peanut butter, and then a fork to put the banana into the bowl, and then take a spoon to then eat the bananas. Like, that's so many layers.
Like most things, I take my cues from the animal kingdom, and a monkey does not fully unpeel the banana until it is done. So that's how I roll.
Oh, really? Did we just?
Is that for sure?
Yeah, look that up.
No, I'm making that up completely.
Yeah, that's not exact. Yeah,
yeah, but it's a safe bet because like it's just human nature, and to know how to open a banana like that and use the protective case of the banana to protect the banana that you're going to eat from
myself,
from just contaminants.
Who knows where those hands have been?
Yeah, jeez. I think Baggedmilk, you made a good point. I think the rule for how to eat banana is exactly that. We should get a video of how a monkey eats one, because that they're using common sense and common sense alone. So I will.
Now, I've also seen videos of monkeys peeing in their own mouths and using their poo and balling it up and using it as a projectile to establish dominance. So, are we going to always
we're not far away from
world
getting
here, or is that just for banana eating? But other than that, like, I'd like to shoot a little higher on the food chain.
Man, I'm telling you, like, I live in a townhouse complex, and we're getting pretty close to throwing poo at each other.
What are you talking about?
There are neighbors, like, just kind of yelling at each other.
Really?
Yeah, from yard to yard right now.
About what? Like, what's the gist of it?
Right now, music. Music seems to be a problem that's dividing the community around here. A loud set of tunes that does not fit in your personal playlist is being a problem. So I feel like poo throwing is only a matter of time.
Wait until people start coming outside and mowing their lawn, and they're mowing within 6 feet of the other person. Woo.
So everyone's been in isolation. We mentioned actually Chalmers and Wanya, you guys weren't on the podcast when we talked about setting our goals for isolation. I said I wanted to watch old movies and learn how to do my own taxes. Baggedmilk, you said you wanted to learn how to drink black coffee and juggle. Chalmers and Wanya, we'll get to you guys. I want to hear your guys' goals. Baggedmilk, how are your goals been going to learning how to juggle and drink black coffee?
Black coffee is starting. I've hit the turning point with black coffee.
Nice.
I can put it down.
You know what? Okay, wait. I was wondering what you were doing with this. Your black coffee challenge. So your want to become a black coffee drinker?
Well, you know what? Because I've got I'm rationing milk.
Okay.
I'm saving it for important things like grilled cheese and tomato soup. So rather than putting it in my coffee, I've decided to see if I can just go straight black coffee. So now I think I'm on day 8, and I've turned a corner now. It seems to have just been kind of like I went through a dip, the struggle was there, and now I'm finally starting to get this black coffee thing.
Fuck it. All this talk of black coffee, I'm about to chuck the kettle on right now.
I just had my second cup before we started. And then in terms of juggling, Yaremchuk, I'm starting to get it. So I watched this YouTube video on juggling technique just to see if there was like a trick or a way that I could advance this. And basically the point of the thing was, here's some basic tips on how to get going. And the guy says if you spend a total aggregate time of anywhere from 4 to 6 hours actually practicing, like 6 hours of total practice time, you should be able to have it. So I'm about, I would say
6 hours?
Yeah, 6 hours. So I'm about, say, 90 minutes in, 2 hours in over the span of the last 3-4 days. And I'm starting to hit a corner on juggling as well. So I'm trying to figure out how to make a video to show my progress day over day, but I'm starting to be able to figure it out. Soon I'm going to bring a unicycle into the mix. I'm going to start getting weird here with this juggling thing.
Oh, good for you.
Thank you.
Jay, what were your goals? Steps, right?
Was it walk 10,000 steps? They say something about reading.
You did say something about reading.
Okay, so I'm still slowly reading The Art of War.
10,000 steps per day? That's
10,
like everybody's goal on average every day when it was normal.
But no. In the summer, I can do 10,000 steps, no problem. But in the winter, it's a completely different ball game. Like if I can get to 4,000, that's amazing. So instead of my big thing is I also like if I'm in lock-in, I sometimes just like to like chill. So I got to push myself to like get out and walk. So I got up this morning. I went for a 5,000 step walk. So I've got a good foundation, and I should be able to naturally over the course of the day now hit my goal.
We have a dog, and the furthest I was walking my sons and the dog was to school in the morning and back, and then whatever walking I would do during the day, and I would let them walk the dog later. I have been on some of the longest walks for the last 6 straight days in a row. I've seen areas around my house I didn't even know existed, and they're beautiful. And I figure that trend's gonna keep up. So I don't know if a 10,000 goal is really all that crazy there, especially when you have a dog.
Steps, man. So let's hit that. And then here's the thing: my dog won't walk with just me.
What?
Your dog is so high maintenance. I swear to God.
What do you mean?
Well, that's dash hounds are normally
Crazy?
they only imprint with one person. So like, yeah, me and Hot Dog get along and we're boys, but he will only go for walks if my girlfriend's here.
Are they the 13-year-old girl of dogs?
They could be.
Just very high maintenance?
Well,
very emotional?
He's so low maintenance aside from just like that. And then whatever the hell you witnessed on the weekend.
He didn't know where you were, so he was freaking out. He couldn't see your face. But then if you were just there and your lady left the room, he started getting on edge and like anxious. I don't know, man.
Well, that's when he goes on edge, when she leaves the room.
Separation anxiety on this dog.
See, me and the homie Frank, we are cruising. He's living his best life right now with me being home all day.
Have you taught him the names of all of his toys?
That was another goal that I had. So far, I've taught him what his balls are called. And he's got like this big rubber stick thing. And he knows what his stick is now called. So I've got 2 down. I'm working on rope. And then he's got this other thing that I'm trying to teach him how to get as well. So it's a work in progress, but we're getting there.
Wanya, did you have any self-isolation goals?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Tyler, which movie do you watch?
I have not watched an old movie yet. I watched a new movie on Netflix, the Mark Wahlberg one, Spencer Confidential.
What do you think?
My general review of it, I would give it a 3.5 out of 5.
Oh, out of 5, okay.
Yeah,
What's
like
Spencer Confidential? I never even heard of it.
I don't know. It's basically Mark Wahlberg as a Boston cop, as he is in most of his movies, and he's trying to like take down some dirty cops, and it's just basically all really predictable and like a lot of kind of cheesy action stuff in there. It entertained me. Post Malone was in it, which was kind of cool. Some of the action scenes were pretty cool, but there was a lot of moments where I was like, shut the fuck up. This is so stupid. So maybe not even 3.5 out of 5. I'd just give it a straight up 3 out of 5. Like passable, but not something I'm recommending people go out of their way to watch. My other goal was learning how to do my taxes. And last night I got TurboTax and I started clicking my way through, but there was some information I needed to get from my place of employment. And I didn't have that, so I had to stop. But I'm going to resume that today.
The good thing about that is, though, you can jump way, way ahead. You can fill out everything you know, and then go back and fill it in later. You can always be editing it until you actually file.
Oh,
That's
really?
the good thing about those.
I thought I just like completely stopped and I'm going to restart the process today. That's good to know. I can just save it and then hop right back in.
It's because you're looking for an excuse to stop.
Well,
I don't blame you.
I was kind of enjoying it. I watched my girlfriend do hers, but she's a lot more simple than I in terms of she has one T4 and that's it. And I saw how much money she was getting back and I was like, shit, I actually kind of want to see if I'm getting any money back, but I doubt it. So yeah.
I just like to throw my shit in a box and drop it off at the accountant's place. That's what I do.
Me too.
I feel like that would probably be easier, but I quite literally have nothing better to do right now. So the taxes are going to be a high priority. I've also been playing a ton of video games. Like we're talking 4 hours a day at least right now, which is something I have not been doing. I've not been able to do for like the last year and a half of my life because I've been so busy. So I've been really enjoying playing lots of video games.
I've been playing some video games too, and I recently found out this is something not all dads really want to go through, and it's inevitable. But my 9-year-old son is legitimately become better than me at NHL 2020 now.
Wow.
And yeah, it sucks because last year. So here's the best part. Last year we're playing 19, and I'm doing that thing where I'm trying to get my players away from his players so that he can score some goals. And there's ways that you can be easy on somebody in that game, mostly by just trying to get your players away from their puck carrier if they're the computer. And but I would always make sure that I beat him just so that I let him know that you got to work
to maintain dominance.
You got to maintain dominance. You got to work hard to beat Dad. Well, tides turned the other day when we were playing, and he started doing what I was doing, and I looked at him and I said, "Don't you dare!" It was like 7-3 or something.
Oh, he was giving you the charity.
He started not shooting when he should have, and like pulling his guys away from mine. And I just looked at him. I said, "Don't you dare! If you're gonna beat me as hard as you can." And he just kind of like, because he's like the sweetest kid. He like didn't want to make me feel bad or something, but it was devastating, and I just don't even want to play anymore, to be honest.
Sorry to hear, buddy.
Yeah,
that's tough, man.
That's a rough one.
It happened a lot earlier than I thought. I thought it would happen at like 13, maybe, but like, he's 9, and it's happening, and that's like I said, earlier than I wanted.
You should start
you stopped on
heavily
your
restricting
10,000 hours.
Yeah, well, I guess I should just play more now that I have time, and then maybe try like play when he goes to bed, play like a season, have like a Rocky style montage, show all my working out and stuff, and then challenge him again in a couple months.
Chalmers, I have a question.
One thing you got time for is to make your own montage.
What?
With the self-isolating, more time at home and all that, harder or easier to stay quitting smoking? Or is that not even an issue anymore? Like, you're just done?
You know what? Not even an issue anymore. Because of the nature of, and I'm not saying it because I don't want to take my shirt off. It's like a really, really perfect time to not be hurting your lungs. And so like that keeps me going. The fact that I'm not. Is it harder or easier? Shit, I'm not really thinking about it too much, but every time I do think about it, it's probably just out of boredom. So I'll bet you I think about it more. I just haven't really been noticing, but I'll bet you I think about just like I thought about it today about the daily routine. What used to be go out for one there, and it didn't happen. So yeah, I guess it's still kind of around. But like I said, it's made easier not to do it when strong lungs are a good thing right now.
Before we move too far away from video games, I just want to mention tonight on Oilersnation, we are going to be simulating the game against the Anaheim Ducks. That was supposed to happen. That started at 7 o'clock Mountain. And you know what? It's actually been fun to see how many people are getting fired up by this. It's fun to see the community getting mad about penalties and missed chances and big saves. It's weird, but I respect it. I love it.
So when I saw that you guys were doing this, and I sent you guys a message, and I said, you guys should start a community, like a league, maybe get 30 nation like listeners or readers and followers, and they can basically join like the Oilers Nation NHL League, and you guys just have to become friends on a PlayStation. I'm kind of thinking through the problems as I'm talking about it right now, but wouldn't it be fun to be able to like have a season and award a Stanley Cup to nation listeners and viewers on NHL 20, and they all have to be the exact, like the team that they get drawn, that's their team. and they represent it. But now I'm realizing that like some people would have Xboxes and some people would have PlayStations, and could that work?
Yeah, like I have no gaming system whatsoever.
No. Well,
Yeah.
who actually
Ditto.
does? Who actually does that thing?
Nation Dan is
See, but you guys don't have to play in it. Like this is for them. You're just the platform, and then they talk about it on the website and stuff.
Logistically, it'd be interesting to see how that would even work. You know, there's a bunch of people that would want to play. Like even today, I posted something at the Nation. Caleb Jones is inviting people to play 2K with him. So there's an appetite for people that are wanting to play video games right now, for sure.
Yeah, I don't have a video game system either, and I woke up yesterday morning with my screen time update, and I am like 7 hours and 50 minutes average a day screen time.
That's only going to get worse, man.
Fucked. No, well, I'm normally like 3 to 4 hours normally, so it's like almost double.
I've never hated my brother in my life, but I did yesterday because I had a hankering to play GoldenEye, and he stole our N64 from my dad's house. I was going to make my way out there and pick it up, play a little GoldenEye, get in touch with my teenage years, but my brother fucking took it, and it is really upsetting.
Oh,
And you can't even go get it back.
No, I can't go get it back because he's up in Grand Prairie, and he is in full lockdown.
Wanye, what the hell are you doing with this time off?
I don't know, nothing.
You're not somebody whose mind stops very often. How do you deal with this?
I don't know. I'm just busy with work shit, I guess.
Is that it?
Yeah.
What is today for you?
Every day is the same day. It's coronavirus.
You hate this so much, don't you?
Well, I don't know, man. Like, I think it's for me right now. It's just trying to figure out like how to minimize. We had to let a lot of people go in our businesses, right?
Yeah.
And we had to make some hard decisions about what we were going to do and how fast things were changing. And like restaurants and bars basically being illegal and stuff. We were trying to figure out how to mitigate risk as best as we could. And then we're trying to think now about like, how can we help, right? Is there anything we can use our platform for, our supply chain for? Where like, is there an organized response? What do people need? So we're spending time doing that kind of stuff. And now we're trying to figure out what do we think this is going to look like in terms of length, and then what kind of work do we need to do to climb out the other side alive?
Nice. Those are heavy questions.
It's grim shit, man. This is not a good time.
Yeah.
Everybody has to deal with those.
Thank
questions
God
in
we're
their
not
own way.
healthcare workers, man. Like these people, I respect the shit out of them, right? Like I got nothing to complain about. I'm sitting in Wanye Manor. I got Doritos till my eyes bleed, and all I have to do is walk around the river valley. It's easy for me. There's some people out there that are doing hard days, and I respect it.
The work that the healthcare workers are doing is insane. I know a couple of nurses, and the shifts they're putting in, the overtime they're putting in, it's no joke. But Wanye, I got a question. You mentioned Doritos. How are you rationing your quarantine snacks? It's been a real problem over at Baggedmilk Manor.
Mm-hmm. I've got a rhythm to the day, you see. I'm not a big morning eater. So I don't really eat until like maybe 11 or 12 after I've done a bunch of shit. But then late at night, I'm only allowed to eat healthy food. So if I'm snacking late at night because I'm watching TV or some shit, I only have to eat healthy stuff. But it's pretty rationed out. I get a bag of Doritos a day. Not bad.
Like
I'm having a real problem.
Bag?
What's that?
The big bag or the small bag?
Small bag. Come on, John.
Oh,
Take that
Jesus.
moron.
I thought you were doing a family size bag per day.
Yeah, I mean,
I was about to
family size
send
bag
help.
of Doritos a day.
I'd order you a Peloton too.
No. I've been going for super long walks. That's funny because I'm like, okay, I'm going to go for a walk. I'm not allowed to talk to anybody, but I have an unlimited amount of time. And I've got myself into some weird places by the river where I'm like, I don't think I should be here.
I don't know. What I'm noticing on my walks is that a lot more people are walking with beverages.
Oh, the
My
best.
drinking
Yesterday.
consumption, I didn't think it could go up.
Like day drinking?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
all the time, man.
It's almost Vegas rules.
No,
Like
it
airport rules in full effect.
Yeah.
I literally walked down the street with a stein
Oh yeah.
of beer and just like, who gives a shit? Like I'm actually thoroughly enjoying my release. My entertainment is like the happy hour walk. So like, just like Wanye said, days full of a lot of heavy conversations and planning, and you just want to shoot out the other end being like, okay, I need some separation from like work life into like personal life. So I'll go for a walk with a beer, whether it be a tall can or a stein of it. And I'm just like, fuck it. But now, like, it's funny. I watch my neighbors, and you'll see two guys walking around with, like, swell bottles or, like, big coffee mugs. Like, I know what you're fucking doing, and I like it.
Well, an interesting thing, too, about walking around, like, when I take Frank on his walk every day, everybody's been super friendly, but from a distance.
Yeah.
And, like, for me, at least in my hood, a lot of people will wave at you from a distance, acknowledging the weirdness that we're all living through right now. Also, I've noticed massive coffee mugs. I saw a guy yesterday with the size of a coffee mug. You could put at least 2 liters in that thing. So he probably had a stiff one.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's funny. So I do this walk with my friends that I told you I was so excited about last week, and Chalmers is part of this walk. And everyone knew what this walk was about. It was about getting together socially and having a few beverages and going for a walk. And everyone showed up with just one drink.
Mine was big.
It was so disappointing. I had a backpack.
You had that's high school. You had a box of red wine.
I had a box of red wine.
Bush party.
And I had a few cans of beer, and it was great.
I know where that red wine came from.
Yeah, well, I had a box of red wine because it was going to go bad sitting in Little Brick, and you couldn't donate it.
Can't
so
donate
I took
it. Got to drink it.
So I donated it to myself.
Well, and you were just keeping the Vegas vibes alive because you were walking around with red wine on night 2.
Yeah, that's true. I guess I'm starting to become a wine guy, and I didn't even know it.
Okay, so
we should launch Nation Wine.
I don't know. I think you're not going to have any sort of quarantine type of goals, Wanye, are you? You're just going to do what you do.
I'm working on some shit. You know what I have been doing with what's that?
Doritos.
Yeah.
What's the go-to flavor? I got to know because I've been on.
I got them all,
heat.
buddy. I got them all. So one of my planning for all of this was hilarious creature comforts, right? So every flavor of Doritos, I have a small bag a day for 14 days. I got them all. I got Cool Ranch. I got that sweet chili heat. I got some weird yellow one, zesty something or other. Good. Good living. You know what I have been doing, Chalmers, which you will respect?
What?
I'm like, okay, we're to the point now in this whole thing where I don't want to read or watch the news anymore.
No.
Because I'll watch the Edmonton news, and that's it. Once a day.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I was reading about this a lot a month ago, right? And now I don't want to do it anymore. So I'm trying to find shit to keep myself in like you said, a cocoon, right? Where you're kind of shielded from what's going on.
Yeah.
I've been watching full episodes of Electric Circus. Do you remember that show?
Oh, wow.
That show.
Buddy, there's hundreds of them on YouTube. And the minute you watch, I don't know, whoever did this is doing the Lord's work and they deserve a promotion. But immediately it's 1995 and I'm young and I'm like, old people are so weird. I'm watching people on TV now. I'm probably 26. I'm like, what an old lady. Look at that old lady. And the jams are unbelievable. And if you drop an Electric Circus episode while you're making breakfast, you're in a good place.
They have one that's a whole. It's just Electric Circus dancers.
Buddy. Do you remember the show? Jay, you remember the show?
Of course I do. We should
educate.
We should probably educate Yaremchuk on what it is because he's leaning back in his chair yawning.
True. Yeah. Hey, Yaremchuk. Here, back in the day, going to bars was a very different experience altogether. If you wanted to stunt and you wanted to be the man, you had to get up on a speaker and dance. And the reason why is because we all, even junior high and shit, would watch Electric Circus. And Electric Circus was a show they recorded in Toronto. It would do well. I'm watching this now. I'm like, kids are just as fucking vain as ever. They would totally want to be on this show. But anyways, they would have someone come perform or something. But it was just basically a room of people dancing.
But they'd have couples, and there would be there would be these two guys are on this speaker, and this girl is by herself because she's wearing little to nothing, and they would go to them,
and they do their signature dance move,
and they do, and then they do the wide shot where they see everybody. You see who is taking it off when the camera's not on them.
And the hardest way to stunt in the bar was to be standing on the tallest speaker. Do you remember that rule, Jay?
Oh, yeah.
First started going to the bar, you're like, what you want to do is ascend to the highest point in the room and dance and look at everybody.
It's truly awful dancing.
It's unbelievable. Shut up.
And I had the hots for Juliet Powell like you would not believe.
Buddy, the one from the mid-'80s, I can't remember her name, as I've just been watching them. She is talking an Electric Circus like she's addressing the United Nations. She thinks she's so important. It is hilarious. And she's like, this weekend, Vanilla Ice is performing at the Toronto Expo, and it's very cutting edge. And you're like, oh my God, this is classic. And then the ads are the best part of this shit too, because they have like the Much Music footage with the ads from 1995.
Do you know how long this show was on for?
Like 15 or 20 years.
15 years. It started September of 1988, and went to December of 03.
I think it's still valid now, man. If you could go around and like go around a room of people who are fucking filled up with Botox and fit as fuck and doing their little dances and showing their social media, I think it would still work.
Yeah, this is where
it's Jersey Shore.
They put Rick the Temp on this show early in his career.
When he had the hair parted in the middle, tucked behind his ears.
Oh yeah, now he's on ET. What a rise!
Well, did you see like there's a lot of DJs and stuff doing Instagram concerts. So we're basically living in like a virtual Electric Circus right now.
Yeah.
Juliet Powell, she was good looking. I don't remember her.
I loved her.
I don't remember many of these people. Oh, Amanda Walsh, I remember her.
Speaking about Electric Circus, in terms of dancing, did you see Struds' video?
Unbelievable.
Yeah, so good.
Unbelievable.
That's what social media is there for during this time, is like doing shit like that. That was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it was good. People doing crazy stuff. People doing dance competitions. Everybody's doing it for the gram.
Now's the time to start your own personal TikTok account, Chalmers.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you think I need a TikTok account? Remember, I took it away from my kids. Now I got to get it back.
I think we need it now more than ever.
You're the TikTok account we deserve, Chalmers.
Maybe I will start one. Get one going today.
Yeah.
Got to do it.
What should be like the first? Well, see, what
Carlton.
I like to do is I like to go along. Yeah, that should be the first one.
All your aqua dances.
But the song has to be on there, right? Like not every song is on TikTok.
Touche. Yeah, that's fair.
I think only a few. But you know what? You guys watch Westworld yet? Should we talk that?
No.
No, I'm going to put it in the Queen.
We'll just talk Electric Circus instead of Westworld.
Now we're talking.
Well, there was some hockey stuff to talk about, wasn't there? Wasn't that in the old preamble?
What, that guy who signed his ELC?
Yeah.
Oh my God, Chalmers, a guy signed his ELC.
Raphael Lavoie. It was
wouldn't believe
real live Oilers news, as well as Cam did an article yesterday recapping Peter Chiarelli's interview with Bruce Scariosh, I believe, from Ottawa, and it is wild. Peter Chiarelli hasn't learned jack shit.
Oh, really? Is he doubling down?
Yeah, well, there was one quote that really knocked with the nation where he said, in hindsight, he probably should have waited for a better offer on Taylor Hall, and that he only got one offer. And it was just, it's a whole mess. Oilersnation.com. Cam's got that up there. It is a wild, wild interview.
Am I the only one?
I want to know what he saw in Griffin Reinhart. That's the only question I want answered. What did you see?
He saw what history sees, Jay. An amazing defender, capable of playing top 2 minutes, and you can build him around him as a franchise. That's what he saw.
He plays in the Chinese Hockey League.
Yes, and if you go there and look at his team, I bet you he's a key part of the leadership group.
Am I the only one that thinks that Peter Chiarelli in the picture you guys have on in the Nation looks a lot like Austin Matthews, the way that he's like, his face is looking?
See, it's bullshit. That isn't the Peter Chiarelli we hired. We hired Peter Chiarelli with no mustache, like a cool zip-up jacket. He looked completely different. That looks like a dad who's lost at a fucking Home Depot on a Sunday.
He looks like Austin Matthews.
Put a quaff on his head on that photo and Photoshop a Matthews jersey, and I bet you it'll be uncanny.
Yeah, you're not kidding. You're not kidding. Well, I mean, Matthews' hairline's running away from his face, too, so he might be there in no time.
What's that app where you can age someone? Just age Austin Matthews to, like, his mid-50s, and I'm sure that'll be him.
Oh, my God. If I could... They're the same guy.
Well, I remember, Wanye, actually, when they hired Peter Chiarelli, you wrote a Many Faces of Peter Chiarelli article.
2 articles ago, but still when Chiarelli was GM.
Did I see Wanye make an announcement that he's going to come back to writing in some capacity?
At some point here, when everything has been executed and all of the doors have been nailed shut and we've buried all of our light bulbs underneath the window or whatever we think we need to do, yeah, probably.
Awesome.
Well,
Did you see my cartoon I made the other day on Instagram?
Yes, I did. That was very impressive.
How long
did that take you?
I was on hold for an hour and got to the end of being on hold, and they just ended my call. But that's how long it took me. About an hour.
Remind me which one this is, because I know I saw it.
It was the emojis versus the virus. Yeah.
It was great.
Oh, yeah. That was
liked it.
really good. I did like that too.
And then I brought it back to Connor, because it's really about Connor.
Well, I'm looking forward to when you eventually do make a return, because I just got a message from one Cameron Lewis.
Yeah.
He is doing a throwback series on the Nation, looking at some of the best moments in Nation history. And one of them he wants to do is when Wanye dubbed Sam Gagner future captain of the franchise.
God almighty, I was certain that was the thing happening.
So this could be excellent timing for a return.
The timing to come back, I just want to make sure, like, I'm of the mind that this is going to stretch on and on and on, right? And I think that we'll be fine and we'll work through it. And, like, when you watch Independence Day, I don't think, even though the aliens are scary, that they're going to win at the end of the movie. And I don't think now either. But I think that there's a period where it's, like, inappropriate to joke around and shit. And, like, when I do come back and start writing, it's not going to be like, what do you guys think about the ELC? Like, I'm just going to write a bunch of garbage like I used back in the day. I just don't want to be tone deaf, right? When you watch Gwyneth Paltrow right now on her Instagram account, be like, hey, everybody, look at my slacks. And everyone's like, fuck you, Gwyneth Paltrow, down at the time. I don't want to be that guy.
Do you guys want to all sing Imagine together?
You know what? That's the thing. I feel bad for those people because, like, Will Ferrell being involved, like, I don't think they meant to come off as tone deaf, but it really does.
Well, like Madonna took a lot of shit yesterday for that weird video she filmed from her tub.
Yeah, what
all
the hell
these
was
like
that about?
super vain celebrities that like need to get off on like people paying attention to them. They're gonna get old quick. Like Vanessa Hudgens, do you see her?
Oh man, she buried herself.
And you're like, oh my god, whatever. Like, oh my god, Vanessa. First of all, nobody cares. And secondly, there's like 130,000 people live watching you talk. Like, use your brain. I don't want to be 1.01% of that.
So you don't want to write about the situation that we're in, is what you're saying?
I think no, not at all. The gang right now, like the content you guys are coming up with across the nation, it's remarkably good, right? Like when we had the strike that one year, Jay.
Mm-hmm.
The content now versus then is like night and day way better.
Oh, night and day, because literally all the content during that one strike was just about the strike.
And us traveling. Remember?
Yeah, we didn't really. Oh yeah, and us traveling. Yeah,
we just wrote an article every day while we were traveling, and we're like, oh yeah, we'll just say that we had to go on the road to make content. And we did, right? Yeah. But now, like, you guys are doing a phenomenal job. All the different moments, the Smitty moments. Like, I'm watching and I'm reading, and it's like off-season mode.
So, but when you see, like, you know how when you go on TSN or you go on Sportsnet and you see that they're playing old games?
Yeah.
Doesn't that just make it worse? Because
I don't watch
it worse for me. Yeah, I can't do that.
See, and it gets me excited for when we can get going again. On Saturday night, Sportsnet had Game 5 from the series against the Sharks from 2017. And I was lucky enough to be there and to relive that night. It was so much fun, even though I knew how it was going to end, even though I know Clefbaum was going to tie it up late, even though I knew Desharnais was going to win it in overtime. I still loved it. I was texting with Rick from the Pint during that game. And we were both fired up, still feeling all the stress from the penalties. It was fun, but I also understand both sides of it, because doing the live tweets on a game that happened 3 years ago is weird, but people are enjoying it. Some are like, man, this bums me out. But for me personally, I'm just happy to watch hockey.
It's like normality, right? It's like a dose of normal.
Any dose of normal I can kind of get right now is appreciated. And if watching Connor from 3 years ago is going to give me little boost, I think you take it.
There'll be time for me to watch it. It'll be in like June.
Baggedmilk, you said it was getting you excited for when we return. Do you think that this NHL season will resume at all? Like, this is maybe a question for the whole group as well, but like, over the past couple of days, I've sort of I've developed a pessimistic mindset when it comes to it. And especially with seeing like the Olympics get moved from this summer, like I just don't see how you can bring a league back until this is completely gone, or at least there's, an end in sight. And I don't think that's going to happen till the fall.
Well, I just recapped it. So today, today is March, whatever day 23rd. It is. The NHL just released kind of a Q&A about the pause of the current season. And their answer was, we don't know. So at this point, I'm kind of parked in I'm hopeful, but we'll see what happens. It's hard to plan anything for tomorrow when you have no idea what's going to happen 3 hours from now, let alone what's going to happen months from now. So I'm hopeful, but I also understand why you would be pessimistic about it.
I 100% believe that this season is over. The basketball season is over. I am not hopeful that even the NFL season will start. I am in that mind frame because I watch and I read way too much stuff, and nothing can happen until this thing is gone. It's just no. There's no two ways about it, and there's only two ways for this thing to be gone, and they both take a lot of time. And I believe that's where we live right now. As big of a bummer as that might sound,
it is a bummer.
Yeah, until somebody can show me otherwise, until they can test the drug in less than 12 months. I just don't see it, unfortunately.
The way I look at it is the only thing I can really control right now is my attitude towards the situation. So I'm just trying to be hopeful and trying to be positive and trying to do what we can to get through the day. Because like you said, it's fucked up. Everything's fucked up.
It is. And we've had a pretty, I know this last 3 months has been pretty bad, but when it comes right down to it, the last 20 years has been pretty fucking good, right?
Yeah, for sure, buddy.
Every generation's had to go through something. And this is just our something. And it's just
And it's really something.
It is something. It's just the weirdest something. You never realize that this might be one of the worst somethings when it comes right down to it. But yeah, I'll get to a place I think where I can start watching hockey again, and that's probably a couple weeks. Just when I realize that this is when I just stop being in my own head about how much of a bummer this is. Then I'll start watching hockey. Then I'll probably start watching football. We'll go back to it. We'll fall in love with sports again, and that's kind of what I feel like is going to happen.
I feel like there's going to be the going into this problem, and then being on the other side of the problem. And I feel like sports returning, that will be a big sign of normalcy.
Yeah.
Right? So it'll be okay, well, maybe we're not going to see hockey until 2021, right? When we come back and we're all allowed to go inside Rogers Place and cheer and wave our towels and shit, everyone will be much more appreciative of shit like that, and we won't take it for granted. And I think that they'll be the NFL is back and the USA is back to business and here we go. It'll be the thing that comes at the end, though. It won't be something that comes early on in the return to normal.
Yeah, I feel bad for players who are maybe we're finally getting that chance and finally becoming what they always wanted to become, and peak of their career. Just any player that was playing that wasn't on the downslide of their career, a year is going to kill. A year is going to be awful for everybody.
I remember this from 2006 because I was at the last game. Game 6 against the Detroit Red Wings was the last game that Steve Yzerman played. And it was kind of one of those things, how many good players in all sports
really hear those chips
are going to have their career ended because of this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, even look at a guy like Alex Ovechkin, right? And we talked about his race to catch Wayne Gretzky. He's now lost a season and a half due to lockouts and another chunk of hockey here due to this virus. That guy could have potted, if you count his rookie season, the half season, he could have another 80 goals in that span. All right. Anyone got any other?
This segment brought to you by One Age Bag of Doritos.
No. I'm not doing that. Look at. Who was that? That wasn't me.
That was a crunching bag, wasn't it?
Wasn't me, man. Honest to God. Baggedmilk, what are you doing, you fuck?
No, I'm not doing anything. I think he ate a good Ola bar or chocolate bar.
Aha! It's Yaremchuk playing with an 8-ball.
It's a brown baseball.
Wasn't me, man. Honestly, I'm sitting here with a can. I don't even have any chips. Look at. No chips.
All I know is I'm getting ready for a cocktail o'clock.
Yeah.
You know what I like? What I like about this though is I was in a pretty bummer mood this morning, just in general. And this has been this is why the Google hang with your friends. If you and your friends are out and you want to have a Google hang, do it. I'm telling you, it lifts spirits. Yeah. It's huge. I wanted to just sit in my desk and do paperwork, but this is much, much, much better.
Well, yeah. I mean,
We don't have to stop at 45 minutes, man. We got all the time in the world. We can have an 8-hour podcast.
That's right.
The whole thing's brought to you by Japa.
We talked about this on one of the last episodes where it's just a little touch of being normal. No, we're not in the studio with each other, but it's fun to just fucking look at you guys and just see what's going on. And
who is making noise? Honest to fuck. Who is it? Is it you, Jay? Are you fucking directing it?
I'm sitting in my bed. I've got nothing.
Who's got tinfoil? And what was that explosion?
I'm chewing on it. That was upstairs.
I've got nothing.
Shit's going crazy
Chalmers
up here.
kids have like burnt down the kitchen.
Yeah,
Why
I don't
do
know
you
what
have
wrong.
a microphone and you sound the worst of everyone? What the fuck?
So-
He'll actually sound better on the podcast. I said the same thing last week, Wanye, because
It sounds like he's talking into a potato.
Yeah.
Yeah, just wait
We
till you
sound
go back and
amazing.
listen. I'm the only one
Yeah.
that has clear audio, and the rest of you guys sound like you're talking through like a rotary phone. But
Yeah, I sounded like Yaremchuk sounds right now.
yeah,
Yaremchuk, is there any value to you going back, like getting all the equipment out of the podcast studio and taking it to your house? Do you have more capabilities?
I have it all.
Do you have the computer and shit?
Oh no, I don't. The computer, no, and that sucks because my laptop keeps running out of memory, which is why
Well,
we
why
have to
don't you
wrap.
go get the desktop?
I didn't think I could just like pack up the desktop, and there's a lot of wires that our engineer had like, you know, kind of screwed in and all that, like stuff I can't really pull out that easy. It works fine on the laptop. It just takes me a little bit longer to edit, and if we go more than an hour 5, my Adobe Audition decides to just like shut down.
Well, I don't think any of those cables and shit you need to take the desktop home. The
Just move it like the way my friends used to move stuff, where they would just straight up leave the cords all plugged in and just like wrap everything around.
Oh
it.
yeah, keep it tight.
But the computing power, your check of that desktop, you could have like an easier time of it at home if you want.
I'm trying to think how I would move it because I would need to move a monitor too, right?
Yeah, you just come get the desktop unit and the 2 monitors.
Yeah.
And the keyboard. And the power supply.
And the room.
No, you don't need the room. You just need the computer.
Yeah.
They're pulling down the snappers from the roof.
Drop off the espresso machine for me. Here, I want to master making the olive leaf or whatever. That's my. I want to learn how to make espresso coffee and designs in your lattes. That's the skill I want to adapt.
I was reading a bunch of websites of like other cities because I wanted to see what they were saying about what was happening directly. And I was reading this Kazakhstani website where you could do Google Translate. And they found this family living in like the Urals of Kazakhstan that had their utilities in their apartment shut off because of a dispute with the local utility. And when the neighbors broke their door down 2 years later, there was over 700 giant jugs of their pee.
What?
And these
You sent me that.
And these people had been living with like 4 years of their pee or some crazy thing. And then in one room, they'd piled rotten clothing 10 feet high. And I was like, you know what? For people like that, this is probably a godsend because they don't look crazy not leaving their house. Silver lining.
Do you know what I'm going to do? What I just realized
Keep
that
all your pee in jugs and make a big pile of rotten clothing?
No,
I was just looking around. I don't have enough jugs.
No, me
I've
neither.
got to do a clothing purge for the Peloton as part of my arrangement, so I will start my pile.
Attaboy.
What you got to do is douse it in pee, see? And that's how it rots.
I've got 12,000 pictures on this computer, and not one of them is in the same folder as one that should be with it. They are very out of control, and I am going to. I bought this little unit here. Is going to store them all and keep them safe, and so that's going to take like 3 weeks at least. That's what I'm going to do for the next 3 weeks.
I watched this documentary on Crave, and Tom Hanks made it. It was about typewriters. You dig?
Yep.
And they were interviewing John Mayer, and John Mayer writes all of his songs on typewriters. And I was like, man, that's so funny. John Mayer's such a loser. But he made a lot of sense. He's like, you save all this shit on your phone, and you save all this shit on your computer, or you save it on an external drive. But like, when's the last time you went back and saw your old digital photos from an old computer? When's the last time you went to your BlackBerry and actually looked at your photos from that era? He's like, I type out my lyrics, so I had like proof I did it. He's like, all my old albums are just on a hard drive somewhere, and I don't even know where the computer is. Weird, eh?
That is weird. I like
all these photos, everything you save on your phone and stuff. Like, I've got probably 6 old phones. I don't know how to get those photos off of there.
Yeah, but you should have proactively been putting them onto a laptop or like.
Well, Chalmers, I also probably should have had a pandemic plan, but I didn't, did I? I mean, at the end of the day, you can only plan for so much.
Like 2 months ago, when you told me to go get stuff, you should have been doing it.
Well, I've got time now to consolidate and figure out how to turn on all my old phones and get all the pictures on. Maybe that's what I'm saying.
See, it's a good idea.
But then you got to have an old computer to be able to hook your BlackBerry up to, because I don't think it was a USB.
No, it was that fat one. It was that like.
It'd be
And then you got to have the old
USB.
power supply. So you got to have an old MacBook to be able to hook up to your shit.
It was a USB, but do you remember that you needed the program, the BlackBerry program? And I highly doubt you can find that program anymore.
Oh, I can find that, no problem.
I'd
On
also
the dark
like to play
web.
some Brick Breaker.
Brick Breaker, yeah, Snake.
In a minute.
That'd be a classic.
You know what I was thinking the other day would be a good thing to get is an emulator for your phone that emulates old phone games.
Snake.
Oh, absolutely.
I'd love to play Snake. I'd love to play Brick Breaker.
I'm sure you can find them.
Do you remember when Brick Breaker ruled our lives, Jake?
Oh, it ruled everyone in our group's life. Like, if you couldn't get into the infinite game space,
Yeah, all you had to do was
you were a loser.
Garbage. You're human garbage.
you had to beat both levels twice, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you would just beat the game twice through, and then it would be just infinite. You couldn't die, right?
Well,
Do you remember when
you would be through because if you went to the second loop, it got much harder. But then after that, it just kind of went back to normal, and you would have accumulated so many lives that it's like impossible to die. Like I remember our one buddy, to preserve his game, he reinforced his battery.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you remember that? He taped it on, and then it died. He threw it through the wall, remember?
Yeah.
He taped his battery on so it couldn't die. Then it died. Then he threw his phone right through the wall.
Yeah, that's how you do it, right? It's
that's how because you care about Brick Breaker. I would spend days just getting ready to play Brick Breaker because it took so long for the real game to start of Infinite Lives.
It's an emotional sport.
Do you remember when Clash of Clans ruled our lives?
Oh,
somebody's still planning.
I would wake up in the middle of the night, Chalmers. I would set alarms to wake up in the middle of the night to start upgrading something new and then go back to bed having felt like I'd done God's work.
If Clash of Clans was smart, if they want to get me back, they would have to reduce the amount of time it takes for shit.
No, because the beginning of those games, this is the problem with games like that. And even like real life to some degree. It's really exciting when you're upgrading and all sorts of shit is happening. But then you reach a point where to make level 8 walls is like 400 elixir. And you're like, what the 1,000 elixir?
Yeah,
like,
it's disheartening. You don't want to do it because it's like, I don't care about wall.
Yeah.
But like, you
need wall.
But need
SimCity is like that too. When you first start playing SimCity on your phone, that ruled my life for 2 years. It's the same thing. There's like a fun curve to it where it gets to the point where there's nothing really to do. Remember when we would like go warring in clans and all of a sudden you could never win anything ever and donating was no longer a point?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what this reminds me of something. So remember how you guys made fun of me for Pokemon Go the other day?
Yeah.
Or like 2 podcasts ago?
Yeah. Do you want me to start again?
Buddy, me and my boys now, we get out of the house just to go play Pokemon Go. And we drove to a gym. And now I'm not going to try to explain to you what this means, but there's other Pokemon Go players in that gym, and I put my guy in there, and then what I was going to do is feed the other guys berries to keep their lives up.
What did you just say?
What about fully unwrapped bananas? Would you feed them that?
Who one of the guys in
hold
the
on.
gym was.
Did you say you were going to feed somebody berries to keep them alive?
Yes.
Oh my God.
And guess who the person was that I fed a berry to?
Mike Smith.
Let me guess. Ron Jeremy.
The Nation Dan. And so I immediately took a picture of it. I immediately texted it to the Nation Dan. I said, "Is this you?" And he said, "Haha, yes." And of course, just like me, he said that he has somebody who he plays it with.
Oh yeah.
When truly we're both just the
you're
two
a central
parties.
person. Yeah, the buffer. yeah.
So that was fun, and it was way on Capilano. You know what it was? It was the Sportscaster. You ever seen the Sportscaster mural in Capilano?
Got all the way to Capilano? Holy shit! That's for me.
God, work. It is. I was
gas is a cent. Jesus.
Maybe I'll get back to Pokemon Go since I'm doing such sizable walks these days.
Baggedmilk, and you know what you do? You go to the ones that are on the street, but like you can't park in front of them because but on the street, not many people walk on. Your Pokemon will be in there for days. You'll rack up so much dough, bro.
Don't forget the berries, Baggedmilk. Don't forget the berries. Eat
what we're-
berries.
If there wasn't
learned here
social
is that,
distancing, Chalmers, I'd come to your house and fight you.
What we've learned is that Chalmers is basically the Mother Teresa of Pokemon Go in the east side of the city right now.
You got to feed berries, man. That's how you
All
make
right.
your money. You're only as strong as your weakest link in that gym. Dan,
Your Yaremchuk.
Decided
You know
to
what would be
feed him
a
berries.
funny thing to do? It'd be funny to open up a 5-person podcast that goes 24 hours a day, and you have to wait until people want to drop off, and then new people can come into the chat, but there's only 5 people allowed.
We'd all be
Just
just
an
dying
open
for
chat.
somebody to show
But it's
up.
an open
Like,
chat. People can listen. If you're like, hey, this is boring, I'm fucking leaving. Somebody could be like lined up to go. You could broadcast 24 hours a day.
You could.
You ever see that episode of Simpsons where they ordered television turned off? Did you ever see that one?
No.
And Krusty goes to the UHF emergency alert station in the middle of the desert and starts broadcasting 24 hours a day from like a nuclear fallout shed.
Oh, yes, I remember.
And he's
this.
the only thing on the air, so he has 100% of the market share. But he has like Mr. Mop as one of his characters and shit like that. There's an opportunity here to do that type of shit, right? Where you're like, we've been podcasting for 4 weeks straight.
24/7 podcast.
Where'd you get the diamonds, Baggedmilk?
Oh,
I'm jazzing it up.
Glossy.
Oh, wow. So, hey, one thing we talked about last week was watching a movie as a crew. Is this something we want to do?
Yeah, we should.
Which one?
We'll put it to a vote.
Put it out on the socials.
Yeah, put it on the socials. Let's watch a movie.
Look at me, motherfuckers.
Maybe that's something
this
we'll
what
get
people
into
are
more on
doing?
Thursday.
Can you see me?
You're a cow.
You're a cow.
Yeah, fucking right. I'm a cow. Oh, my mouth moves when I talk.
I'm going to be a mouse.
Oh, geez, we can do this all day.
Do you want to go, Yaremchuk, or do you want to? Am I getting a sense you're trying to wrap this shit up?
Yeah, because I don't know how much longer. I'm already getting the thing popping up on my screen. I think I can show it to you, actually.
Do you want to? Do you want to do a second half to this one and talk for another 45 minutes, everybody?
That's fine.
No, this
I've
is
got
why we're
fuck
doing
all
2 a
day.
week now. This is why we're doing 2 a week. So we
No,
don't
but
run out of
by
stuff to talk
Thursday I
about.
might be busy again. I got time right now if you want to do another half.
I kind of have
don't
another
have-
job.
Oh, it even moves my octopus eyebrows. Look at that.
What? What is this?
Oh.
How do you do this? MySpace?
So everyone should be an emoji, and then we should video this, and that way we can show your government faces.
Until it
'cause I am
glitches.
I'm an octopi.
Yeah, mine's all of a sudden acting
You're
up.
plural octopus?
That's right.
Wow.
Chalmers doesn't work.
Okay. So I
Mine's
feel,
not
I, feel like
working.
I feel like this podcast is turning into a Google Hangout right now. So what's on tap here? Says the cow.
Well, we're almost at an hour, 15 minutes. So
Yeah, your Yaremchuk's wrapping it up. That's what's on deck.
Well, one thing I want to plug, and I know it's not time to be commercial, but Nation Beer is about to come back, and I'm personally going to be delivering it this weekend. So
hell yeah.
there.
Well,
I
let me
said
know
it.
when that drops so I can see at my house.
Yeah.
What do you mean
yeah,
you're
so-
delivering it?
We're offering free delivery.
Oh, it's kind of nice.
So, yeah.
Aren't you
It's
supposed
been-
to stay in your house?
Well, you are and you aren't. So if you practice safe protocols,
I think you are.
no,
I think you are and you are, aren't you?
as long as you disinfect everything, because I ordered some beer yesterday, got delivered. It was all kind of wiped down, came in a bag with like isopropyl alcohol and all that stuff. So it was super it was dropped on my deck and picked it up. I washed my hands immediately after just to be super safe, and then enjoyed a delicious stout on my walk yesterday.
It's so funny watching this from a cow. What are we doing?
That's all ridiculous.
What are we doing in our lives?
Before we go, we do need to give some love to Japa. Obviously, they are our title sponsor, our big sponsor, so we need to give them some love. I think they adjusted their store hours, but they're still out there doing the good stuff, fighting the good fight over at Japa. Check them out on their socials, Japa Machinery, and online as well. They got links in their Instagram bio and their Twitter bio as well. So shout out to Japa. Got to keep giving love to Japa because they are the reason we're still crushing out a podcast now twice a week.
They are open from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday to Friday, and they are not accepting drop-in sales calls or unscheduled visits at this time, just to be safe.
All right, guys, thanks for doing this. As always, this was a fun podcast. I enjoyed you guys as animals. Chalmers is a comic book. It's
Oh, wow.
I like
That's so cool. Well, proper song selection.
Fucking right.
all right, guys.
This was fun, boys. Thanks.
All right.
Yeah,
see
later,
you guys.
boys.
See you later.
See you
kids.
guys on
Anyone who
Thursday.
listened to this, we love you. We love you. We love you.
Great job on making it through the entire hour of the Real Life Podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts from.